Here it is, the video you guys have been waiting on, the final reverse engineered Cinnabon recipe. And if you're new here, no, I do not make copycat recipes. I reverse engineer precise recipes that could fool even the most discerning palates. I was almost completely happy with the cinnamon roll from the last iteration, so I made very few changes to the cinnamon roll itself. We made most of the changes to the frosting. I did not realize that I was running out of potato flour on filming day, so you'll see that my dough is a lot looser than yours will be, but you can trust the recipe because I have tested it ad nauseum. The only changes I made to the cinnamon roll itself is changing the brand of the butter flavoring, and I will talk more about that when I get to the frosting because that's where it really matters. So as you can see, it's a little wet and sticky, but that won't be an issue with your cinnamon roll. I cover it, and while it rises, I make the filling. The filling is the same as last time, brown sugar and McCormick Culinary Korintji cinnamon. Yes, the brand of cinnamon does matter. If you want to know why, check the previous videos. I'm told that showing the punch down is mandatory, so here you go. I know it's not as sexy since the dough is sticky. That's the only time you'll ever see me punching down unprovoked, I'll tell you that. I flour my work surface and my rolling pin really well, and then I pour out my dough onto the workbench. I roll it out into a rectangle, and yes, shape is very important when making cinnamon rolls, and then I add my margarine. Cinnabon does not use real butter. They use margarine, and they have their own proprietary brand of margarine. I have gone over this, but undoubtedly someone will question me and say, why didn't you just use real butter? Again, this is not a copycat recipe that uses common run-of-the-mill ingredients. This is a very well-researched reverse engineered recipe. After sprinkling on my cinnamon sugar, I roll up the dough, and it is a challenge with the dough being so loose, but one thing about the show is it must go on. After I roll it up, I seal up the loose end with a little bit of water on a pastry brush. Then I score off the log where I'm going to cut the rolls. On filming day, I tried out a comment section suggestion and used a serrated bread knife. That also actually did not work for me at all, as you will see. It could be because the dough was too loose. It could be because the knife wasn't sharp enough. I'm not sure. It just did not produce a beautiful roll. The way these rolls turned out just does not do the recipe justice, so I did go buy some more potato flour and I did redo them. I will show the redone ones in just a second. I also found the winning cutting method on the redo. As you can see, these came out perfect. Sliding elastic jewelry line underneath the log and then creating a loop to cut them made perfect, crisp, clean lines. If you want me to do a video on that method, I'm happy to. Just let me know in the comments. The main change with this final recipe is the frosting is completely different. My issue with the first two versions is that they were too watery. The more I would try to beat them, the watery they got, and I had to do some research as to why. Turns out the more you beat cream cheese and margarine, the more water it releases, so trying to get it fluffier ended up making it waterier. Cinnabon's frosting is quite thick, and I wanted to replicate that because texture does matter, so thank you to all the internet pastry chefs that helped me get to the bottom of it. Lastly, the flavor was not a 100% match, so I had to switch brands of butter flavoring to McCormick, and then I was able to nail it. The first brand tasted more like butterscotch, whereas the McCormick has more of a birthday cake kind of flavor profile. Getting the icing right almost made me cry. It has been by far the most difficult part of this process. These are the cinnamon rolls that I made on filming day versus the ones that I remade. Baking only 6 at a time instead of 8 definitely allowed them to come out more square instead of rectangular. I wanted to show how the frosting on filming day came out so thick and fluffy and beautiful. I literally had to microwave some frosting to be able to do the drizzle for the intro and the thumbnail. Reverse engineering is a very long and tedious process, and I'm so glad you guys have been on this journey with me. What else would you guys like to see me reverse engineer? Reverse engineering is very expensive, so make sure you push all the buttons to support my content.